Hi. So one of the reasons that I'm actually dressed this way, as opposed to like a professor or an instructor, is because I'm actually a full-time student. So I thought it would be important to let you know that, so that if I were to say, come out and sit in one of those seats, it wouldn't actually be all that weird, except for the fact that I happen to be the one speaking right now. I'm what they call a re-entry student, which means I've got a little mileage on me. I went to college the first time in 1987. I graduated in 1993. It took me a little bit longer than usual to get through because I totally crashed and burned. My father is a mathematician at Cornell. So I had just a slight amount of pressure to perform well, and I completely cracked. And the reason that I'm telling you that is to give you a little idea about the fact that tutors aren't necessarily this higher echelon of students or even teachers or instructors. We're just regular human beings, just like every one of you. Let's see. I changed careers. That's another reason why I've come back to school. My bachelor's degree is in theater arts management, which is actually not the degree that I was after in the first place. I did that for a while. I was successful at it in terms of being good at it. I think I made maybe $10,000 in a span of 10 years. So obviously, I had to do something else. I also wrote for a little while, made $500 in 2 years. At the same time, I was schlepping coffee, worked for Starbucks for most of that time. So I know what it is to go out into the world and have to work and be tired and get 4 hours of sleep and get up and do an 8 to 10 hour day and then go back to work and do 4 more hours of sleep. And for a while, I was actually even commuting between Boston and New York City. So there were, in the middle of my week, there were 36 hours a week that I was awake for part of that time. So that's hard. But I don't have any kids. I have no idea what it is to do that and go to school. I have a little bit of privilege because my dad does have this gigantic education and all of that. So all of those experiences are unique to making me the mix that I am. But ultimately, I got into kitchen and bath design right at the peak of the housing industry, the housing market here, just in time to crash and burn once again. So on my 40th birthday, which was just a couple years ago, I ended up, for my birthday actually, sitting on the floor in my living room, which was empty at the time, because I had lost my job and my relationship had fallen apart, and I had to move, and I thought, literally, I thought, what happened? And what happened was that I sold myself short on my education. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to offer you today is just from my mileage, which is nothing more than context, and we all have it. It's just that each person, go ahead and turn it off. Is it yours? Who's dancing? Is that my mileage brought me here today in this particular way, but every one of you has your own mileage, your own context. And one of the mistakes that I made was not reaching. I wanted to impart to you that reaching is not just about reaching for that grade or for that associate's degree. Don't even stop reaching at a bachelor's. Reach all the way past the PhD, whatever it is that you want to do. Reach to be the astronaut. Reach farther than you think you can get. Because number one, you never know, you might actually get there. But number two, even if you miss that mark way out there on the horizon, all of the experiences that you're going to gain on the way are priceless. What does that remind you of? Priceless? American Express, right? Somebody else can talk. MasterCard? I don't know. We know it's a credit card, though, right? It's American Express. At any rate, so back to tutoring. A lot of people have some stereotypes about tutors. One of them is that we're super smart. And another one is that we're basically a walking encyclopedia, which would be Google with feet. So I have to say that smartness or intelligence, that's not something that we even really know how to measure. Since this is for a psych class, I thought it'd be interesting to bring this up. There are multiple different kinds of intelligences. And the cool thing about psych is that it's all theory, right? So you get to wonder. So if you wonder, that means you can explore a hypothesis. And if you're exploring, then that means you're doing research. And that's what psychology is. So in terms of intelligence, am I wondering why I'm standing here doing this? Maybe. But the reality of the situation is that every person in this room, right here, right now, today, is a genius, an absolute genius at something that I'm completely incapable of doing. I have no doubt about that at all. So just because I'm a tutor doesn't mean that I'm necessarily smarter. Anytime you go into the tutoring to get help, it doesn't mean, here's the key. Don't think of it as, I need to go talk with someone who's smarter than me, or who's better than me, or who's got more knowledge than me. That's not even necessarily the case. All it means, and I go get tutoring, by the way, all it means is that you need some help getting some skills, and we're set up to help you with that. I got tutoring with research methods. I had Dr. Duff's research methods class last semester, and it whooped my butt. So I went in and got tutoring. And all that happens when you're a tutor, I wanted to share this with you. All that happens when you're a tutor is you help people organize information. When I told you that I crashed and burned when I went to college, at the end of my freshman year, this was my whopping GPA. Okay? That's for real. And I sometimes will show students my transcript because they don't believe that they can learn and be, quote unquote, as smart as me. And that's absolutely not true. All that it has to do with, as far as tutoring and education is concerned, if you want to hit the dean's list, for example, all you have to do is become efficient at organizing information in such a way that you can get it into your brain and access it when you need it. And that's what we're here for. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was note-taking. And don't worry, we're going to get to the operant conditioning and the classical conditioning and all that. But before I do that, I wanted to set something up for you so you could see it. You ever missed a class and borrowed somebody's notes and they hand you their notebook and you open it up and it looks like that? And what's the first thing that you think? What does it say? What else? Say, sloppy. What else? What do you think about it if you open your notebook and it's the night before the exam, and we all know that we're going to cram. We all know. I'm going to fail. Exactly, I'm going to fail. So is that helpful? No. What does it do? It freaks you out, right? Your brain goes, I'm going to fail. There's no way I can get all this information in. So this is what your notes ought to look like. Just bullet points. And you'll notice that sometimes there'll be something written on the side that says no for a test. You might have a page number. If you bring your textbook to class, you can sit there and mark the pages in your notes. That way you don't have to write down every single word that your instructor says. If you condition yourself this way, what you're actually going to do is teach your brain to relax when you open that notebook instead of freak out.